Hi guys, you welcome to my channel. I want to first of all appreciate you guys for all you have been doing, keeping these channels alive. I appreciate you all. Why I'm making this video is basically for the WAEC students and the JAMB. How should you prepare for your exam? And what should you look out for? It's very important you understand how to prepare for whatsoever exam you want to write and understand some tricks and tips around the exam so that you are going to study smart instead of just studying hard. I'm going to be starting with the JAMB. I've made a video about how you should prepare for your JAMB exam. Sometimes I think that should be 2 years ago. So that's a long time ago. Yeah. However, I'm going to be repeating some tips that I am very sure is going to help you as a JAMBite to really do well in this exam. Then I'm going to wrap it up for that of WAEC. Now, as a JAMB student preparing to write JAMB, obviously, you know you are going to be writing 4 good papers. And out of these 4 good papers, 1 is compulsory, and that is English. Then you have 3 core subjects that you want to write. If you are an average student, obviously you can't be good at those 3. For example, if you happen to be an average student like me, as a science student, I can either write PHI-CHEMBA, that is physics, chemistry, and biology, or PHI-CHEMMA, physics, chemistry, and mathematics. As for me, I'm not a medical student and I'm not doing anything medical related. And I want you to understand this. So a lot of us always go to schools to go and check their subject combinations and the likes for whatsoever course we want to study. To save yourself of unnecessary headache or a shortfall that you have to start looking for a way to merge that can prompt you to change your courses, just know that when you are doing anything medical related, just know that you are doing PHI-CHEMBA. So when they are telling you that you can replace chemistry with another subject, you can replace physics with another subject, play safe, don't try it. You might not be good at physics, you might not be good at chemistry. That is the reason why I'm making this video for you. So if it is medical related, stick to what? Physics, chemistry, biology. Stop looking for replacement. Then if it is engineering related or pure science related and the likes, you think of what? Physics, chemistry, and mathematics. Stop replacing mathematics for biology. Stop replacing physics. You know, these are things that makes it difficult for you to gain admission. So let's say you're doing physics, chemistry, mathematics, my subject combination. And of course, you also be doing English. Now, I'm not good at English. At the same time, I'm not a good student in chemistry. But I'm good at mathematics and physics. If this is your case, then what should you do to pass this the so-called JAMB? It's very easy for you to pass the JAMB if you know the course you want to do and you know the cutoff mark for that particular course. Let's take, for instance, you are doing a course and the cutoff mark for that course is 200. So if the cutoff mark is 200, then you can prepare yourself around just 2 subjects that you know. So that is, for you to do well in the JAMB, you must try as much as possible to know 2 subjects very well. So in my case, mathematics and physics, I know them very well. Now, if you know them very well, ask yourself, how many topics do we have under them? So when you know the numbers of topics that we have under this said subject, the next question you want to ask yourself is, okay, which of these topics which of this topic do you find difficult? You need to ask. Okay, Toib, which of these topics do you find difficult or that you don't really like? For example, I don't like statistics. That doesn't mean that I don't know statistics, but I don't like it. However, as at the time that I wrote my JAMB, I don't know it. Likewise, geometry, I don't know it. So I know that those two areas, they are like problem for me. I don't know them, despite me good at mathematics as at then. Also, in physics, I know that I'm struggling with some area of physics like electrolysis, magnetisms, AC circuits. I don't know those areas. I get on this now. So that's what you need to do. Identify those areas you don't know, even in your core subject. You know, my core is physics and mathematics as an average student, but I'm not good at those areas of physics and those areas of mathematics. Now, the question is to ask yourself, how many questions am I expecting in those areas? Okay, at least I don't have questions at all in those areas. I'm going to be having 5 questions altogether in those areas. That is, okay, statistics, geometry, and the likes. I'm going to have at least 5 questions under them. At max, 10 questions altogether. The same thing goes to electrolysis, AC circuits, and the likes. I'm going to be having at least 5 questions under them, at max 10. So I assume that I'm going to fail 10. I get where I'm coming from now. Okay, so if I'm going to fail 10 out of 100, that means I have the high chance of getting what? 90, right? Okay, so percentage error needs to come in. Of course, machine cannot work 100% efficient. Even sometimes there are some questions that they are going to set for you that the answer will probably not be there. What the teacher or the the examiner thought the answer would be might not be the answer in some cases, and this happens a lot in mathematics, even in some standard exams like SAT. You know, exam that determine the success of almost all the students in the country. That's extremely standard. So what I'm trying to let you understand is that examiners sometimes made mistakes with questions, thinking that this is going to be the answer to the question, but deep down, that is not the answer. Obviously, you're not going to find answer in none of the options. So those kind of things can come up. Sometimes you overthinking at times can think, oh, this is going to be the right answer, of which probably you have missed a step. So in a nutshell, error can come in. Instead of you getting 90, at least you can get 86 with your level of accuracy. So with my level of accuracy in physics, I know I cannot score less than 80 in physics. And with my level of accuracy in mathematics, I know I can score less than 70 in mathematics. So I already prepare my mind before leaving the house that, okay, I have 17 in mathematics and I have what? 80 in physics. That means 150 in total, right? Okay, so I need 50 more to pass. So I asked myself, okay, how worse are you in English? At least I should be able to score up to 20 in English. And my chemistry, I should be able to score up to 35. So that's 205 already. You get where I'm coming from now? So with that, I already passed my JAMB. And me going to the exam hall, I'm starting with those two that are my core. That is the mathematics and the physics. I spend time doing them. And when I say spend time doing them, I don't mean that you should waste time while doing them. You still have to be time conscious. Because passing JAMB is all about speed and accuracy. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So you just need to break down your subjects combination and the strength you have in those subjects. Break them down to the score that you need. And of course, when my result came out there, I had 86 in physics, I had I think 74, 76 in mathematics, 53 in chemistry, and I had 49 in my English. So can you see that? And that makes it so easy for you to know if you are going to pass or if you are going to fail without you panicking. You know what you're expecting already. At least how to prepare. Absolutely. And of course, if you want to do medicine as a medical student, obviously, I'm expecting you to be good in those 3 areas: biology, chemistry, and physics. However, if you're not that good in physics, it's fine. But try as much as you can to at least be able to score up to 90 in your biology. Likewise, your chemistry should not be less than 80. And if you can try to meet up 17 in physics, it goes a long way. So that's that for JAMB. So how should you prepare? Those subjects that you know that they are your strengths, spend time studying them, so that at least your accuracy in those two subjects is going to be of high level. Do you understand? And those ones that you don't know, that doesn't mean that you should stop them as well or just leave them aside. You also need to practice them as well, so that you can make a proper guess. When I say practice them, those subjects you don't really know, you're not reading them to really understand them, but you want to read them to be able to make a proper guess. So when they give you a question under chemistry and you're not good at chemistry, as I am not good at it even till now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to ask myself, oh, this thing, which one can actually be the right answer to it. So I read chemistry and I study it then while I was preparing for my JAMB, in order to be able to make a proper guess, should in case I don't know the question. And that's probably a better way of you getting things done, instead of deceiving yourself like, oh, you can do it. No. You have to be what? You have to be sure and be certain of what you can do. I hope this helps somebody. Now, to WAEC students, obviously, you're going to be doing close to 8 to 9 subjects. That's kind of much. But instead of bothering yourself with all of those 9 subjects, why can't you focus on the 5 most important ones? For example, you're a science student. Why can't you just basically focus on your English, mathematics, chemistry, physics, and biology? Or for those that are not doing biology, maybe you're doing economics or you're doing geography. Just strictly focus on the 5 main subjects that you want to write. Now, when you're focusing on these 5 subjects, how should you prepare for it? It's very important you understand how to prepare for it, because this is quite different from JAMB. You have objective, you have theory, and you have practical. Now, I'm still going to be talking about how to handle practical aspect of WAEC, especially in physics. It's very, very important you understand how to handle the practical section of physics, because that determines how far you can go as far as the exam is concerned. You understand where I'm coming from? And it's the most easiest one that you can pass. But, a lot of students always think probably it's the difficult ones. I'm telling you categorically now that the practical aspect of WAEC is the most easiest one for you to pass. Are you getting where I'm coming from? So how should you prepare? Let's take, for instance, that you're a science student, just like I've said, and you're preparing. You have physics, you have mathematics, you have chemistry, you have biology, you have English. These 5 subjects, they are what you want to do. How should you prepare for them? Obviously, you should know that the core area that this exam will focus on is basically your SS1 and SS2. Only few part of your SS3 will reflect in your exam. The core part of your exam is your SS2. Are you getting this now? The core part of the exam is the SS2. So pick your scheme of work in SS2. Look at it vividly well. Prepare solidly well from first term to third term, especially second term. Let me give you an instance. If you are a physics student, for example, when you look at the third term of your SS2, it's basically like you're studying everything that has to do with wave. So you see your second term is the key area in your SS2. So when you are preparing for physics, for example, for your WAEC, there's need for you to concentrate with your SS1 and SS2 with a touch of SS3, but more of your SS2. Very, very important. Now, how should you study those topics? So when you pick up your textbook that you want to read those topics, the whole of the stories in the textbook at times can make it boring for you to read. But the first thing you want to do for yourself is to understand yourself. How do you read to understand? Do you need to read in the crowd, in the midst of the crowd, or do you need to read isolatedly? What exactly is the method that works for you? Is it early hours in the morning or late at night? No, don't let anybody use their method to control your own method of reading. For example, when I was in school, and even up to now, the only way I understand whatever I'm reading is when I'm reading that thing like I'm teaching it. So when I discover myself to get to understand things very well by assuming that I'm teaching that thing, I got a small board inside my room. So the small board is just like 3 feet by 2 feet board, and I got a marker. And while I'm reading, you probably think I'm teaching somebody. You understand where I'm coming from? Let's take for instance that I have my textbooks with me, and I want to read on motion. So when I'm reading motion to myself, like, oh, motion is defined as the change in position of an object with respect to time. So when I read that statement, I get to I want to explain it to students. And you start seeing me trying to gesticulate and try to give an instance that somebody did not understand it, and I'm trying to explain it further to that person, and that makes me understand it more. When I get to the type of motion also, I do the same thing, and before it gets to know, the entire concept of motion is already on my head. So when I want to revise, I close my book and I come to board like a teacher, and I started teaching empty board. This is what worked for me right from my secondary school even till now. So when you see me teaching right now without holding book or something, it's because of my reading method. So some people, your own reading method might be that you are having conversation with your friend while you are reading. Do you understand that now? So the moment you remember the conversation you had at that particular time, you remember what you read. That might be what worked for you. Some people might be that, oh, listening to music while they are reading. Though I don't really support that, because I felt that it's going to be a divided attention. However, it worked for some people. So when they remember the lyrics of that particular time, they remember the particular paragraph they are reading there. So when you understand your reading method as an individual, the next thing you want to ask yourself is that for this topic that I want to read, what exactly examiner wants to test? You have to know the exact thing that the examiner wants to test, and that is why you have the behavioral objective. If you buy textbooks like New School Physics, I'm not trying to advertise for them, and I think currently Essential is also doing it. Yeah. So when you buy that kind of a book, you always see what? The behavioral objective, like the listed objective of that particular topic, what they want you to know in that particular topic. And that is what you just need to ask yourself. So what I do is that as a student, when you read those words, behavioral objective, like, okay, at the end of this words chapter, you should be able to define motion, you should be able to list the characteristics of motion and all of those things. The first thing you are going to do as a WAEC student is that use all of those things to create questions. You get where I'm coming from now? You have to act like a teacher because you are teaching yourself practically. When you are reading, you are practically teaching yourself. So what you're going to do is that all of those objectives, list them out, use them to form a question. When you use them to form a question, then put them aside and start reading. You already have those questions in mind to answer. And at the end of the chapter, go back to answer those questions you formed. Were you able to answer them? That means if you're able to, that means you have about 30% of the knowledge that the book is trying to tell you. Do you understand where I'm coming from now? Now, when you are reading stories in book, don't skip gradients. That's the problem that we usually have. You know, the moment we finish reading the definitions, the whole of the thing that explain the definition, especially if you are reading New School Physics, the whole of the thing that explain those definitions, we tend to skip them. You can only skip them when you are doing revision. But if you are doing the main reading, I beg you to take your time, read them, digest them. That makes you understand the definition very well. And if you are able to read those stories, try as much as possible to come up with your own definition. When you come up with your own definition for that thing, you can't forget what you discover. That's just the key. There's no way you're going to forget what you discover. And that's what a lot of students don't realize. You tend to memorize what your teacher teach you, what the teacher said, how the teacher said. You forget until you make it your own story. When you make it your own story, you can't forget. And it becomes part of you, and that makes it easy for you to understand when somebody is trying to twist the question for you. Because you don't expect the examiner to give you that questions like, what is motion? No. They will probably give you some questions that the answer is going to be what? The definition of motion. But you have to understand how to come about this. Do you understand where I'm coming from right now? So instead of examiner to ask you this question that, okay, at what angle would the range of a projectile be maximum? So examiner might not ask you like that. Examiner can just tell you that, okay, a shooter wants to fire a bullet. At what angle should the rifle be placed to achieve the maximum range? Do you understand that kind of question now? They're not coming directly. But if you have not retouched yourself, you will not understand all this cunning way of testing you. And if you're able to do this for your 5 subjects, then for the remaining subjects, you can just try as much as possible to get an information that will allow you to put something down. Like, try to put your own idea down in those subjects when they ask you. For example, you're going to be doing economics and it's not like a core subject for you. So try as much as possible to get information about all of the topics inside it so that you can make arguments about it. When somebody says something, you can also contribute. In a nutshell, don't read your book like he wants to cram it. Read it like he wants to make your own version of it. And before he gets to know, you are going to excel with it. Now, I'm going to wrap up this section with how you study your past questions. And this is very, very important for you to understand that. A lot of people will just pick up past questions and start looking at it, solving questions and the likes. No. The first thing you want to understand, if you have actually prepared for the exam and you want to know that you have actually prepared, pick up your past questions, scan through the whole of the question, and what you want to do first is that for every question, you want to identify the topic they belongs to. Do you understand where I'm coming from now? That's the first skill. Because if you don't know the topic that question belongs to, there is high chance that you don't know it. Like that simply means you don't even know it. So you have to know the topics that they belongs to. That's the first exercise you want to give yourself. Scan through the past questions. All right, this question number 1, this is the topic. Question number 2, this is the topic question. If you're able to do that for the all of the questions, both theory and objective, then you're already prepared. Do you understand where I'm coming from now? Like, you are 30% ready for that particular exam. Do you understand? Then the remaining percentage is for you to now start testing your accuracy in answering those questions. Do you understand where I'm coming from now? Don't make a guess. Don't be forced to go and check the back answer, because even sometimes the back answer will be wrong. Do you understand where I'm coming from? And that's why I recommend some books for you guys. Maybe I'm going to be doing that later for physics, especially, and mathematics. So those books, they categorize all these past questions in topics. And that will help you do well. So I hope this helps somebody to prepare for their exam. And I wish you guys success. And for the JAMBites, especially for the JAMBite, I'm going to start a series tomorrow by God's grace. And that series is just a revision session for you as a JAMBite, where we are going to revise the entire syllabus in a very short minute. And if you want to watch a full lecture on each of the topics that I'm going to be summarizing with questions, you will be able to be checking the link in the description of each video. I've probably covered the whole of the JAMB syllabus for you guys. And the only good thing you can do for yourself is to try as much as possible to study them. Do you understand where I'm coming from? And take your time, watch videos, practice and practice. There are a couple of channels on this YouTube platform that you can learn from. Other than this, we have Chemistry Hangout there, we have the Chemistry Core. There's a lot of channels out there that you can learn from. I guess where I'm coming from, and I pray that you are going to be succeed by His grace. So thank you so much for watching to this point. Don't forget to share this video with somebody, and if you are not subscribed yet, try to subscribe to this channel, like this video, drop your comments. Always drop your opinion on every video that I make, because your comments will let the algorithm suggest the video to somebody else's, and by sharing it, you are also contributing to success of somebody. Remember, nobody's picking first position. Absolutely, you should know that. Yeah, I graduated with 4.5 GPA and it was useless. Yeah, why is it useless? Was because there's somebody in my class who graduated with 4.58 and we are in the same faculty. So the whole of the gift that's supposed to even come to me went to him, and I've seen somebody in another department getting best student with 3.9 and my 4.5 was useless. And that's life for you. So don't hoard anything, but the impact you are making in people's life goes a long way. And I pray this is going to be a game changer for you as you're about to write your exam. So don't forget to keep me updated about any topics you like me to take. Though I have a very busy schedule. I have a very busy schedule these days. However, I'm trying to use my laptop and some software to make video for you guys. If you see, I've not been making board videos since it's become my busy schedule, but I still want to continue impacting in you people, and that's the reason why I devise the means of using that software to always prepare my lecture. So please don't be bored to always watch them and to keep sharing them. Until then, we are going to succeed.